Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Bryant, and we're welcoming my good friend Paula Lisa to my channel. Paula, how are you doing?
Fine, thanking yourself. Good
Good.
afternoon.
So today we're going to talk about what hospitality is like because Paula, you've been in the hospitality, you've been a connoisseur of bars, restaurants, the best of the best, cream of the crop, especially like Lower East Side where we met.
Right.
Uh, Tell me your experience lately in the bar and restaurant scene because going out now, what today is November 3rd, 2020, and it's getting colder. Outdoor seating's been out a while. What's it like?
Well, I must tell you that from the beginning of the pandemic, when all the restaurants were closed, so that was a bummer because we were like, inside, so we were not able to go out. There was no restaurants open in New York City. We did have the opportunity of ordering in, Grubhub and all those sites, but it's not the same experience. Um, as soon as they were open, before we had the whole setup of the outside seating, people were like going to the restaurants, different restaurants, just to purchase something to eat, like, and to drink. But we were supposed to leave. People were supposed to leave. But what was happening was that people were hanging out in the corners and outside. And then we have had a little bit of problem, with police and stuff, people complaining around the neighborhood.
Because the police came and they shut down those restaurants, right? They took away the bar license if you have like a crowd that doesn't
Right.
disperse.
Right. But even before they had the outdoor seating, I remember me being with some friends out. I remember in 7th Street and Avenue A, where Yucca Bar is at. That's a very hot spot. So there were
Well,
people of
we're talking New York City, Manhattan,
Lower East Side.
Lower
Yeah.
East Side. Okay.
Yeah. 7th Street and Avenue A, which
Okay.
has like the park in front of it.
Okay.
And then each corner has Lily's across the street and some other bar or the other diagonal from
Okay.
Euclid. So before they had the outdoor seating,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which month was that, but as soon as they were able to open, I remember going out May, June,
Okay.
going out, taking a walk to see what was out, what was open out there. And people, and I include myself too, because when we did it in the past, we would go to bars, have appetizers, not necessarily so much dinner, but be with the music and be with friends at the bar ordering happy hour drinks or whatever. So that was happening outside. But of
Okay.
course, people began complaining, and there were
Mm.
people, I guess, at night they were getting unruly or whatever. And then the cops became, called and in the scene and all that. That was before they had the setup of the seating.
We're talking about before they opened outdoor seating. This is
Right. That was before, like around June, before they opened up the outdoor seating.
because when they shut it down, the initial shutdown
March.
was basically no restaurants could serve indoor or outdoor, correct?
Exactly.
Closed, period.
Closed.
Only for delivery and pickup. Is that
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Because like when the food comes in delivery, it gets soggy, it gets cold. You don't have that same flavor and
Um,
you
and
know,
it's more expensive, the delivery, I think, when you
because you're
order.
getting the same food, but you have to pay more for it because of the delivery fee and
Yes, the tax, and then the tip for the person who brings it and all
right.
that.
So it's definitely a different experience, and there was like a whole shutdown because before every neighborhood there it was popping, right? It was like lively. I remember like walking down there. It's like every single day there's a place that everything's
Right.
open. You know,
Each bar, depending on the crowd they have, is always happening, in the
yeah.
lower side.
No, because like that particular neighborhood, like it's just to see a restaurant close there or a place that wasn't like an open restaurant was rare. It was like a rare sight.
Exactly.
So and
Kind of
then all of a sudden
depressing.
this hit. So well, where did you prefer to go get takeout from? Like if you had like a place that you preferred, who did it the best?
It's that I hardly did any takeout. Because when the outdoor seatings came, we would just go and, sit and order food. I would go to, well, Mesetos, of course, got closed. That was one of the restaurants I used to like going before, and unfortunately, we weren't able to. Uh,
That's where we met.
that's where we met. And like I told you, I basically didn't really eat so much dinner per
Huh?
se. My thing was more like hanging out with friends, having happy hour appetizers, and of course, a place to go out dancing later on in the nighttime, which
Right,
wasn't around here. Maybe Yucca Bar had a little bit of dancing Friday nights and Saturday night in
right.
back part of the bar.
But that all that, like, you can't do the whole dancing scene now. It's still
No,
no, because
definitely,
it's like what, 25% capacity, right?
right, definitely not. There's some. I think there's not a place that I know yet that they're doing. Where I used to go to, which was El Cantineros,
Uh-huh.
86 University Place, we used to dance in the top bar, the second floor.
Right.
They're open. They're open outside, inside, and even upstairs, but you cannot dance upstairs anymore. They have all the area where people used to dance with tables. In other words, they're allowing people to go in just to have dinner. And they
Oh,
have music. I mean, they don't have, it's not that they don't have music on, but it's not the whole experience of being at a bar and meeting people and dancing to music in the middle of a little dance floor. That's
the
out.
environment's definitely changed. Like if you were to compare how many restaurants are open now versus before, how different is it?
I think you have to really call and really pass by because you don't really know what's
Yeah,
open. I
yeah.
mean,
Because it's like I feel like not like there were a lot of restaurants that closed permanently
yes.
in that area, unfortunately, because it's been quite an adjustment. But and then
There was
also
a
like when you
list
go
of one
out.
of those,
Mhm.
there was a list out. I'm not even from who the high-end restaurants that were closed for good in Manhattan and parts of Brooklyn, I think.
Yeah, because I feel like when they had the outdoor seating and you went, did they still have happy hour? Did they still have specials like that, or was it
No, the
different? Or
happy hour, from what my experience, no happy hour. The prices were regular. Let's say, for example, the drinks were like $14 or $12.
okay,
No happy hour because they had to make their money. So in the beginning, like it's been very expensive also as well because two drinks right there is $30, whatever with the
right,
tip and
but
everything.
like tax, tip, and everything,
Yeah.
and that's $30 just on the two drinks, and then that's not counting food, right?
And now, like I told you, this has been my experience. Since we like
Uh-huh.
to hop around a little bit, we end up spending more money because each restaurant you go to, you have to buy some food, even if it's chips with guacamole sauce, whatever. Just for me to have that drink and let's say and be with my friends at a place sitting down, we have to purchase some kind of food. So we go to the first place and you tend to eat a lot of food, then you're not gonna have space to eat at the other restaurant.
Right,
So that kind of sucks too. Because
right,
sometimes you just want to have a drink,
right.
maybe something light. You don't really want, especially the way I hung out in the sense that I went to one place and from there I went to another place. I mean, I even got to three places in one night. But now and also the time. Now they close the restaurants early too.
What time do they close now
I
compared to
think I
before?
think around like 10:30 and 11, they're picking up the things from outside. They're getting
Wow.
ready, the server, everybody's just doing. So that's kind of a little bit depressing because if you're a person that used to hang out later,
Right,
I now I see myself like going out with my friends earlier just to have a little bit more time.
right,
Like we're not gonna go out at 9:30 or 10 at night. It doesn't make any sense.
right, because you're not used to like places closing so early.
Right.
Like because like city dwellers, like you're used to the city, like, hey, 2 a.m., 4 a.m. It
Exactly.
like Times Square, the lights are always still on.
Right. Like if when I used to go to the restaurant you used to work where we met,
Right,
we could be there, we were having happy hour there, right? Like with the
right,
friends, and then we would decide, okay, who was going home, but then some people would not go home, they go up to another place.
right. Because
Now
you always had like the bar hopping experience, but
exactly.
then all the bars couldn't open legally because it was just alcohol mostly, right?
Right. They had to serve food. There's a place, I don't know if I can mention places, right? Could I mention like addresses? There's a place
Yeah.
in Rivington, it's called La Caverna.
Huh?
that was basically a club. And that manager, because I've been talking to him, I had one of my friends brunch there, like a birthday brunch.
Okay.
His restaurant is downstairs. It's like I've never even been there before. It's like a cave in there. He's brought tables and chairs to serve people food there. So when
Wow.
you go inside, you feel like you're in the club scene.
Okay.
But you can't really dance anymore, and you cannot really stand by the bar.
Right.
No, you have to sit on the table. You sit, on your table where your table is at, and then the girls come and give you the menus and all that.
Right.
But it's like a restaurant, but like in a kind of like in a club atmosphere.
Right. It's definitely very
It's just
different how they
odd.
organize it. So it's definitely not the same.
No,
So
no, it's not. So that's why a lot
so
of people don't even want to even go out. Like I mean, I would not be one of those people because I don't really have. Because also you cannot really have large gatherings in your house. Even if I wanted to have, it would have to be like what 6 or 7 people, 8 in an apartment. Who are you gonna invite? You're gonna have to invite the same bubble you're in. Like last Saturday, I was at a friend's Halloween party. She only
okay.
invited like about 8 people, and it's
Right.
been 8 people more that she thinks that we've kind of like all either tested negative or they already had the COVID or kind of like that. That's the way we she did her Halloween party.
Right. That's definitely very very different. So like when you go out now, it's cold. It's not the same experience when it's cold, right? Like how
It's
like it's the weather's getting colder.
right,
So
and
what
not all restaurants are gonna have those lamps, those
how do you
things
feel
now.
about that?
It sucks because I know, not for me personally, because I could go into a restaurant. I don't feel that panic. I know a lot of people don't want to be sitting still inside. So people that I really don't go out with too much, if they want to see me or whatever, I'll tell them, what would you prefer? Like when it was still a little bit not too cold, inside or out, because some people feel they have a funny way, not a funny way, but they're concerned. They don't feel comfortable still going inside a restaurant. I don't feel like that because I already been through all the process in the beginning. So, I'm not so like, but of course they have to keep 25% capacity of people in there.
Right. I feel like have you gone to any restaurants that are 25% capacity eating inside?
Yeah, sombreros.
What's that like?
It's horrible. Because the way I used to go there was always a lot of people. I was always at the bar with friends. There was music. And now, since that restaurant is so small, I think it's smaller than even Mesetos. They only have like one, two, three, four, like 5 tables, two of two, and like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of depressing. I don't know. They still have the outside, but it's soon, like you said, they're gonna have to bring that all that inside unless they do some kind of setup structure that you could put a lamp in or something, because not all the structures you can put a
Yeah.
lamp.
So no, definitely like the comfort is different. So like if people want to go out in New York City, like Lower East Side in particular, have a good time, where would you recommend they go? Or like what
But it
like
depends on what they really want. They want to have dinner. They want to have what type of food they want to have.
let's
Italian. They
say,
want to have,
just friends that are COVID negative. They were like, you know what, let's go meet somewhere, like a place where they can socially distance, kind of. Where would you recommend?
I haven't gone into too many restaurants inside except for sombreros and yuca. I mean, it depends what kind of ambience they want, because some people just want to eat a quiet dinner. They don't want to have the music and all that going
Right.
on. If there's a lot of music, because it's like a kind of like a Latino kind of place,
Right.
and the sense of. But I think that Little Italy, they're open. Their restaurants are open.
Yeah. Because I feel like
They're a little larger, so they might have more people in there.
right. Because
Because
I
the
feel
thing
like
is,
mhm.
with ambience in the restaurant, to me, there should be people inside. That makes the ambience, the people and the music but because of the situation, they cannot have all of those people in there. So it's like a quiet, it's just a strange way. I know that a lot of people don't even want to go out because they don't like it. They feel too, it's like really, they don't want to do it at all because they say it sucks. You know what I mean? They want to do. They don't go to a restaurant at all.
Right, because it's different.
So and not everybody likes eating outside. For example, down here, it's kind of cool because it's kind of they have a place where they have the little tents and the way they prepare it, the way the streets are here. Like for example, Ludlow and Orchard, it's a nice way of the way they did it, right? And they close the streets down. But for example, a place like Washington Heights, you're like literally on the sidewalk and people could be passing by you. So a
Right.
lot of people are very uncomfortable with that. People that are not with you, they're not going to that restaurant. So not a lot of people like that. Unless they have like a separate place that they set up, like a tent or something that restaurant has for its own, people could be in there. But if you're just like outside in the sidewalk, you have people walking on, what is it, Broadway, up there in Washington Heights, or Dykeman, or whatever, wherever.
Right.
And so a lot of people do not like that. I've heard about that too. People from cousins of mine, people that live up in the Bronx or Washington Heights area.
Right. It's definitely the hasn't exactly been the same.
No, not the same before it was before the pandemic. No.
How about your friends? Like, how are they enjoying themselves in the city? Like, are they also going out? Or are they is the shift more like home cooking now, delivery?
I have a lot of friends that have done both. I have people that have invited them. For example, a colleague of mine, she's gone out to her cousin's house who lives in Queens, and he has like a rooftop where they offer to the tenants. So
Wow.
they had gatherings up there. Even I, with my friend Ariana and her husband, who are the super here, in
Right.
the beginning of the pandemic, we would go up to the rooftop. But of course, he only invited me. It wasn't like he invited people from this building because
Right.
you're not supposed to really be doing that in the first place. But
Right. It's
like things like that. And that people that go to Long Island, they've always been inside and Staten Island. I've heard that. Colleagues of mine have gone to have cars that they could go or to Jersey or to Yonkers. They have inside dining even before we had.
Do you feel like places like Staten Island, Yonkers, like when you go to restaurants over there, do you feel like it's more spacious, like because like the restaurant size is larger overall
I
versus
haven't gone, but I suspect that they have more space because I saw in the news how places in Staten Island had people, even before they had the inside, they had a whole space, outside to.
because I remember going to a restaurant in Long Island where they did indoor seating, and I feel like because maybe the rent's cheaper or whatever the circumstance is, I feel like their 25% is like bigger than most restaurants I go to in the city.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel bad for the restaurants, these small ones, the ones I go to here, because 25%. And then, they already gave me the time limit starting last week.
What do you mean by time limit?
When you go inside, first of all, they take your temperature and then they write down the name of one of the persons in your party. In
Uh-huh.
case, God forbid, somebody gets ill from that group, they could do the retracing, right? The
Right.
contact tracing,
Right.
the contact tracing. And then one of the servers told me, Lisa, from Friday on, from since last Friday to now, we're gonna have 1 hour and a half seating for dinner. Can't stay there longer.
Wow.
Even if we have money, want to eat, buy more, whatever. No. So they're gonna give chance to, I guess, the other customers to come in.
Wow, that's definitely so different because
It's gonna be like a brunch kind of schedule for people during the evening, especially in those restaurants that are so small.
yeah, no,
They're gonna have the outdoor seating because if they have when in sombreros in the middle of the summer, I think they were making a lot of money because they had everything outside full with
okay.
people. Even around the corner like that, they had stools.
Right.
People were at the end of the night, they were kind of not giving people were just buying drinks like that, but they're not really kind of eating. You know what I mean? Like sort of they were able to at the end, and somebody ate in your party, and somebody, like for example, somebody was in the party in the table eating something, and I came, I didn't really have to purchase any food. Yeah, I would just be in their order and pay for my drink with their order. So it's like things like that, we're accommodating like that. Because I'm like a customer that goes there a lot. So that's one of the reasons why they
No,
weren't
that
accommodating me. I don't
like
think they do that with
how
everybody.
accommodation is because do you feel like the way that it is structured nowadays makes it more uncomfortable to go into the restaurants? Like, do you feel like the restaurants are friendly, less friendly? Do you feel like it's more comfortable, less comfortable to go out?
I think they're friendlier, they're more accommodating due to their circumstance because they don't want to lose their customers either. I
Correct.
mean, they need to, you know, try to accommodate. Like at that place I was telling you, La Caverna, unless we shut down, God for, I hope not, because I know there's a surge now everywhere, all these states, right? And here too. So I
Yeah.
was asking him if I want to do, let's say someone's my friend Bobby. Remember my friend Bobby? Well,
Yeah.
anyway, if he's gonna be 50, right?
Right.
So we wanna do something for him, but we have to see how many people, what's the rule, like could
Right.
we sit down there? Could we sit all together here? Like we went last week just to find that out. And he's gonna accommodate us. And I asked him, could you give us some happy hour drinks more than you offer, like well drinks? He told us yes, but right now he can't really guarantee anything because we don't know if this place is gonna be open.
Right. Because like there's also like the fear like how do you go out and like how do you protect yourself, your loved ones, your family members? How does the pandemic factor in your decision and how you go out and how you where you choose to go out? Like, is there somewhere you go out and you're like, you know what? They don't care about anything, so I might get affected. Like, does it pop in your mind? Like you see a place and you're like, they're definitely not safer. This place is more safe
Right.
than
I
other
haven't
place.
got to that point yet to see
Hmm.
because once we go in with our masks, we sit
Okay.
down and then we take the mask off. But the minute you stand up, you have to put it on. So I still haven't done too much, and I haven't done too much indoor seating yet
Okay.
to know. But for example, if we were to have that gathering for Bobby, it would have to be like right after work, early, so we could be more or less the only ones there, kind of,
Hmm.
because then maybe that later on people are gonna start coming in. But that place is so spacious that he could have 20, like you say, 25% will look like empty the place.
So what in your opinion makes a restaurant or a bar the kind of place that you go back?
Good service, good drinks, music. You know how much I love music in the background to
Have you
make
ever gone to a
talking
restaurant where like based on the service, you're like, forget this. I'm not coming back here. Like, have you ever had that experience?
of course. Even in the restaurants that I go to sometimes when they change servers, they're not the same people anymore. So you don't have that same relationship with people anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When there's new people.
But
Um,
what makes you say service is bad? Like what's an example of, you know what, this is bad
like
service?
like rude, the way they treat you, the service rude, throwing the place. I don't know. And the food if it's bad or they don't want to accommodate certain things. Sometimes you want to ask, instead of put chips, give me some, I don't know, instead of fries, give me a salad. Or and sometimes some restaurants saying like, no, we can't do that, or this goes like this,
I
you know.
yeah, because I feel like it's always like restaurants. I get the impression that they want to know what's wrong because they want to fix it. Like I would imagine like managements and owners, like it's in the owner's interest, especially like, hey, the more business, the more money they make, the more they stay alive. I would assume is the principle of any business. So, but there's always a disconnect. Like, how do you when you go to a restaurant, do you ever feel like you get treated differently from different staff members versus like management or owners? Like, do you feel like there's a difference in treatment?
Will you be like the owner?
Like how the owner or the manager treats you versus like the bartender or waiter treats you or the busboy or hostess? Like, do you ever
I mean,
feel like
yes,
there's
if you're a regular, because if you're a regular and you're the manager, you know that you will say to your staff, look, Miss So and So, Miss Paula Lisa, give her good service, or at the end when she pays her bill, provide her with a dessert, or like, I don't know, a shot or something, like anise or tequila or something. So, but I think is you have to have be a regular. I mean, that could be like my pet peeve that sometimes there's owners not you, not you, but that even though you are the regular, they never take, they never provide you like, oh, this is a shot in the house because you are like our customers like forever. You like whatever. So there's certain, for example, I don't want to. There's certain places that I wouldn't do a party in because the owners don't work with me. Like, could I have this for this and that? Could you accommodate? And there's some owners they're not like that. No, this is what it is, and this is what it is. So I'd rather go somewhere else where I got more wiggle room with that. And even if I have to go to that other place because do to music or have a shot later there or drink, just a drink with my friends, I will do it, but not necessarily have the party there. I've done that. Like, for example, me last year I did my party in your place because you more or less kind of accommodated me. You told me the days I could do it. I told you what I wanted. This was it. The areas we were gonna have, and you accommodated that.
I'm definitely trying to kill the competition.
And I had the thing for the interpreter social committee. That's where I felt this most because you know that I'm in charge of that. I coordinate that with a colleague of mine, and the whole point of the interpreter social committee was to find venues to have gatherings with interpreters, all boroughs. And due to the pandemic, we can't do it. We have to do the Zoom.
Yeah, because nowadays, like even if you want to have fun and do it, you can't because of safety reasons, and now everything's on Zoom.
No, I wouldn't do that with that group. With my own little bubble friends, we will take a little risk and we will have something. We will go out, but I will not. The interpreter social committee with all those interpreters all over, it's a no until this pandemic is cleared or we have vaccines or therapeutics or whatever it is.
Right.
But it's not the same because even in the Zoom, I'm going to tell you something about Zoom. That's an outlet, but not a lot of people like doing that. It's not the same.
You feel like Zoom has a long-term future compared to like human one-on-one interaction?
To me personally, we do this out of necessity, but to me, no, because I'm a person that I need to have physical contact. I need to be in social contact with people. I cannot be, I'm going to tell you frankly, and maybe people think that I'm negligent or irresponsible. Since the pandemic began, there was not one day that I didn't go outside. I mean, outside in the sense, not that I went to places because they were closed, but I had to walk out, take a walk. I had to go to the store. I had to go to the liquor store, to the cleaners, to whatever was open, because I needed to even see people. I would get, and because if not, I would have gotten very depressed here. To be locked up every single day in this apartment, no.
No, and
the pandemic didn't stop me. The pandemic didn't really stop me going out.
And a lot of people, I feel like they don't play emphasis on it because it's like people. I don't think they're designed to be stuck at home. I think typically
a person, a human person, even if you're very recluse and a hermit, there's going to be a time that you have to go out. You know what I mean? To do your things and to talk to people, you need to have interaction and talk to someone. Of course, Zoom and Skype and all that, and phones and text, that's what we do just because we cannot do the other. But no, it's been very hard for a lot of people, the situation, and it continues to be because I don't see no end in sight. I mean, I don't. And especially today, we're gonna be like, we're all like, because now we have the election and we don't know what's gonna happen.
That's true. You picked an interesting way to do this.
Yes, you chose a very interesting day to have this interview.
not intentional, not intentional. This is true.
I thought about LA, like, oh my God.
I'm like, no, there's nothing there.
But don't worry, I voted early, so not interrupting my.
It is interesting because it's like what do you look forward to the most? Like, let's say, hey, Lisa, vaccine's out, everything's good, no one's gonna catch us anymore, everything's open. What's the first place you're running to with friends? Where's the first place that you're like, you know what?
I want to be able to travel because I haven't, even though I know you could, but I really want to go away. I want to go to like a beach place, like either Dominican Republic, Cancun or something, like just be
Hmm.
lay in a beach somewhere.
Yeah. But
Um,
it's not that simple because now, all travel is more difficult.
I had to go see my mother too, so, and I haven't seen her due to all this. So, but
Yeah.
I just went back to work, so because I was out. I don't, but I was out on medical leave, so that's one
Right.
of the reasons why I had my surgery too, because I knew there was nothing going on, and it was
Right.
the best time to do it. I didn't really miss much.
That's actually an interesting point because I feel like if you had anything that you had to do that involved preventing you from socializing with people, like the pandemic time was the best time
Let
to do
me tell you, people think that I told my mother, and she was, people get upset,
it. Right.
if they hear me saying certain things. I said the pandemic really didn't stop me from socializing, even if it's under those circumstances that we were socializing, kind of a little bit risky. What stopped me from socializing was the days that I was here, holed up with the brace and the crutches because I had that surgery.
Ah,
Once I was mobile. I came from I used to go to my therapy and go meet my friends at the restaurant outside.
how are you feeling physically now? How's
I
the
feel, I feel great. I
Are you
had
dancing
19,
around yet? Or are you jumping up
I,
and
no, I don't. I'm not jumping. I'm still doing some a little bit of exercise for my knee because I had 19 sessions of physical therapy, but
wow.
of course the insurance stopped it already. You know how it is. They didn't approve for anymore. So, but I'm able to wear a little bit of heel. I'm able to walk and just I put like a kind of like a brace, those elastic brace on my, which I was wearing even before the surgery. So I feel much better, and I'm back to work.
So after work, you would normally go to a lot of places with happy hour, hang out, chill, and then now, how has that shifted your behavior outside of work? That now that places aren't always
Yeah.
open, not every place is
And
open.
when it was still warm, it was okay. I wasn't working, but I met up people like after my therapy for the, I kind of like positioned my therapy kind of later.
Okay,
So if I will finish at 4:30, 5:30, that's kind of like the time I will meet with someone at a restaurant, and we
right.
will be outside. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I was already I was used to it already. Now with the cold, I'm not sure how it's gonna be now.
Do you,
Because now, like you said, the places are smaller, and you might have to do reservations also. That's another thing.
how- are- do you
I haven't
find
done
that
reservations anywhere.
do you find that convenient to do reservations, or do you just like to like
I
show up?
like I like to walk in, but now with this situation, we're gonna be forced to make reservations because you don't know if you go and it's freezing and it's snowing, you're gonna be standing in the street to go into a restaurant. No, or
That's
you have to go to a restaurant that you think that has a lot of space, and you might be one of the lucky ones to go in, or go early, right after work, 5:30, 6,
no, definitely. It's
and maybe not too much Friday and Saturday because those are gonna be the days, right?
right.
I don't know. It's a strange world where we're living. And then you don't have like we don't have Broadway open. That was like for the holidays. This is first they're prognosticating a lot of surge of COVID, and that this winter is gonna be terrible with the
Mm,
flus and everything else. That people during the holidays would come like Rockefeller Center, like to see all these
right. The trees and all of that
all the.
holiday shopping. That's not. It doesn't look
I
like.
don't want to do any holiday shopping. Like going to a store, that's been also just go in to find something and leave because of course you have to be with the mask on.
Right. It's
And there's
definitely different. Like
and
how do you feel like the Lower East Side has become lively over time? Like, do you feel like the Lower East Side has become more lively as the years gone by overall? Like more interesting, or do you feel like
I think so. Before
before
the
the pandemic,
pandemic,
of course.
like
Before
before the pandemic,
yeah.
I think so because there's a lot of restaurants, a lot of this. everywhere, even in Orchard, Hester, all those streets back then that you don't even know. Not even I sometimes walk. I go, oh God, this is here. All these little restaurants that are here that I not even I knew they were there.
Yeah, because
So
there's
there's so
just so
much
much
places,
variety there, and I feel like there's not enough time to try every single one.
right?
So what really stands out when you let's say you don't know any restaurants in the neighborhood and you're just there.
Yeah.
What would cause you to walk inside and like, you know what, I'll check out this place. Like what are the signs for you that is like this is a kind of restaurant I check out?
Well, first, if I want to eat some, let's say Japanese or Thai, that will be, and I don't know if there's people eating in there.
You need a place where you see people already.
If it's people, it's like they say, if I see Asian people in an Asian restaurant, I feel good. That some Asian person told me that many years ago. That if the food is not good, if you don't see any of our people eating here, hey, that's I don't know if that's
That's a
true or
very
not.
concept, yeah.
I was told that many years ago that I was serving in jury duty, and someone told me that. So, but
Definitely like a indicator because it's what a lot of people like when you don't have information to go by, you look for some signs that make you comfortable.
right.
So it's so if you see a restaurant and you already see people there and it's not like a ghost, like if you go down 10
If
restaurants.
it goes and it's boring, no music in the back, I always like my little music, and I feel that I go no. I mean,
Mm,
it doesn't have to be like dancing music. 'Cause I know nobody's dancing. If you're gonna talk to someone, you don't need to have a blaring speaker on your. But that makes me like livens me up a little bit,
mm,
especially now that I know that I'm not gonna be able to really dance anywhere.
mm.
I just don't want to go to like a quiet place, like because that's not my part of my personality. Like I feel bored like that. I go, oh God, it's just
That's true.
kind of depressing for me. For me,
What
I mean, unless I'm like on a date or something, that's a little different story. But and
so
even that,
so if you go to a restaurant, how attentive do you expect the staff to be? Like, how attentive do you think the bartender should be? If it's like you and four other people at the bar,
we could be at the bar because now we can't be at the bar.
like hypothetically, like if you before COVID, if you had a chance to be at a bar, how
Right.
attentive do you think the bartender or the person taking care
Know
of
that I'm there and then I'm ready to order if I'm calling him. Not like, sometimes in places you could be there and sometimes they don't take your order and then somebody else comes and they take the order of those other people. That's not right. If you're there first at the bar, but I've never really had such a bad experience at the bar when it comes to drinks.
I
Uh,
feel like the experience at the bar and the table,
is different, right?
yeah. So like where do you feel
I feel freer at the bar.
you feel freer at the bar?
I like being at the bar.
Mm,
Now I feel like, how you call it, contained, because I'm following. In order to be inside a restaurant, I have to follow these rules of the restaurant,
right.
and I forget
Mm,
because once you used to have your little drinks, you get a little bit tipsy. My normal thing is, since I'm kind of a little lax about not, I don't want to say because I want people to think that I don't think that this illness is serious, and it is, but I've taken like a different route to it. I'm not so hyper about it. So when I'm inside a restaurant, it may be that I might forget, and I stand up so somebody has to tell me put your mask on. So that's happened to me a lot.
mm,
It's happened to me almost everywhere, actually, even at work,
mm.
because I've been so much at home, and I'm the type of person that I have my mask on the elevator. I have it everywhere that they require me to have it.
Mm,
But once I'm walking along on the street, I take my mask off.
mm.
You
No,
see?
it's very different.
So since we've been with our masks off outside the restaurant, going inside, you have to really get accustomed.
Mm,
When you're group, you have your mask off eating, but then when you stand up to go to the bathroom, whatever, you have to put it on.
mm. That's definitely like the way that the people live and behave nowadays is definitely different because like for 90, I would say 90% of your life or more than half of anybody's life, people typically don't wear masks every day.
No,
You know,
it's horrible
we're not conditioned
to that.
by
And
habit
this time, yeah.
to wear it. So from a condition of habit point of view, I can sort of understand like, hey, you know, a million hours of your life hypothetically have gone by, and you're not conditioned that way to do so.
I'm forced. I mean, I know why I have to wear it. I am gonna wear. I'm not saying I'm gonna go against, but there's come times that unconscious
Mm,
unconsciously I've removed it because I've also been either in my home or out when I don't need to really wearing. So I've been used to that. So when I went back to work, I had a big.
mm,
It's been difficult for me to be in an office,
mm,
like waiting to be called to go to, let's say, to the courtroom,
mm,
and I have to be inside that office with those other four people with that freaking mask on
mm. Well,
because
yeah.
that's a lot of hours. It's not like it's
So I'm
worse in a restaurant because the restaurant needs you sit down and you take your mask off
that's true.
and you're enjoying yourself. But when you're in an office and people are a little bit
Mm,
panicky again, they're pandemic crazy, like I call them, then they're watching you, what you're doing.
mm.
That's the experience I've had.
Yeah, that's true. For,
That's
so
on
for
there.
like full disclaimer perspective, we both support wearing masks. We both support safety and making sure that everyone's safe from COVID and doing the right thing. This is strictly open forum, for the hell of it talk. But we
Oh, of
both
course. I
support.
support.
We both very vocally and openly support safety and wearing masks and public safety and so on and so forth. So so that aside, when you go to the Lower East Side now or around in different areas, do you ever feel like this place has changed and I don't see it coming back? Or do you feel like in the next 2 years after this gloss is over, you think that people are going to definitely start to come back because people miss it?
I think people are gonna come back. I mean, I don't know. There's some restaurants that are closed. I'm not sure which are the ones that are closed,
Hmm.
but I think we'll get back, especially when we have hopefully a vaccine and all that. People feel more comfortable. And New Yorkers, they love their nightlife, and they're gonna be back.
No, I
I'm not
definitely.
sure how many other restaurants are gonna survive this thing. That I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
you know more about that area because I don't, and I support, and aside from me going out, I like to support also the places where I went to, where I
Yeah.
go to, because they're feeling the brunt of it too.
Yeah, because like people forget that everyone took a loss in one form or of another.
The
Like
only thing that I got a little, I'm sorry to interrupt you. The only thing
no,
that
of course, of course.
the only thing time that thought it was a little bit crazy here in New York City was after the Floyd death, and then we started having the protests
Okay.
that became, some people were not really protests, they were doing other things, right? That we got some people, I don't know where they were coming from because I never seen those people in my life. So it felt a little bit, especially during the July of the 4th weekend around the Lower East Side, was a little bit kind of, the nighttime was a little bit hot. I don't know how to explain. The neighborhood was hot.
Hmm.
You could tell that people, there were groups of people, it just didn't feel like the same type of people that were here before.
Hmm.
And then you have, of course, the homeless people that when you're eating outside, they could asking you for $1. That's an experience that's been since these things opened up outside.
Hmm.
And it's kind of, you understand, but it's kind of annoying because if you're paying your money, you're sitting in the place, you don't want someone every minute to, someone that was kind of not too much of a good experience.
Hmm.
Even though I gave out dollars like crazy to people just for them to leave, to say the truth.
No, it's definitely
The social aspect was getting a little, it's kind of.
yeah. I feel like the experience is definitely shifted from like when everything started till now. It's definitely not the same. but we definitely hope that overall the trend is moving up forward because I feel like even for me, I want things to recover and I want things to get better. I want to
Yeah,
see
of course.
resilience. Like people like yourself, you I would imagine you want to see everything pop up because you don't want the trend to be close up more, close up more, and close up more. Am I mistaken?
No, no, but at the rate we're going, and people are not doing what they're supposed to, and we have this virus spreading or something, we cannot allow that to to affect the hospital situation. Because once the hospital get compromised, then they're gonna have to close things down. Right now, I'm not sure that's gonna happen, but there's a warning there.
Hmm. No, definitely we want to do it, and we definitely want to see the trend. And yeah.
I mean, I feel like what I've done has been with few people
Hmm.
inside, and now, like I say, inside with two to three people. I
Hmm.
haven't been to large gatherings. Like I don't do protests. I don't do rallies. I'm not no, well, there's no movie theaters. You see what I'm saying? I'm not doing the sports stuff where that you have to play with a whole bunch of people. So that's why I feel that I'm kind of safe. I mean, I can't say 100%, but I never felt that that I that I was gonna get ill from that. But you never know.
Mm.
I could be asymptomatic. I know that before the surgery, I had a COVID test and it was negative. But right now, I've never done an antibody test, so I don't know about that. You
Yeah,
know,
that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And
yeah,
definitely, we wish everyone to be safe,
and healthy.
healthy. We
Yeah.
want everyone to be safe and healthy, and we hope that, of course, everyone gets safe, everything gets better, and then we look forward to doing another one of these conversations again when things open up again, and we go, hey, look at how everything bounced back or built, or
You
like
know something, Brian, that also, because now that I'm talking to you, I'm remembering like little details. What's another experience that I didn't like too much was eating from plastic recipients. It's not
mm,
the same. And I don't think they give you the same amount of food.
mm.
It's
I,
not the same experience eating at a restaurant with a plastic, you know,
oh,
cover.
oh yeah, especially like when it feels like takeout style. If you're paying the same price and it feels like you're eating takeout, I would imagine that it doesn't feel as.
And some restaurants are having that way. They don't want, for some reason, they don't want to use their utensils. I don't know why, because don't they wash it like really with hot temperatures of
I,
heat?
I would imagine
I think
yes,
I'm
but I
giving
would
straw.
imagine if if I was to guess, I'm I'm sure because I can't imagine it being cheap either way. You
The
know,
plastic is cheaper and it's bad for the environment.
no, but I think plastic. I think if washing dishes constantly might be cheaper than using plastic. I'm not sure,
I
but
don't know.
it's
That's
very
what
difficult for
I'm
me to
asking you
to
because
judge
restaurant.
because I don't know what their mindset is, and I'm very curious to ask owners and management in the future, like what their logic and choices were, because I'm sure that I get the feeling that they don't do things on a whim. I feel like there should be a justification, at least in their mind, about
Maybe they got those instructions in the beginning of the pandemic and they just stuck with that.
because I can imagine that like how like hey, if a plate's done, throw it in the trash, prevent the plates from going to the dishwasher. We don't want the dishwasher to catch COVID by accident, or so on and so forth. Like I can imagine some
I, mean-
transference.
I mean, I can see people getting straws. Like the drinks that were given out in most of the restaurants when we were outside are in plastic cups
Hmm,
and beers and things like that, and with straws.
right.
But it takes the whole experience, the dining experience. You're really having dinner for your dinner to be all covered plastic. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm,
I didn't do that too much dinner because, like I told you, most of the times I did go to these, that I went to these restaurants where it's more to drink and have little appetizers. So I don't care if it wasn't a plastic thing.
Mm.
But I'm saying to people that pay like good money for a full meal to be served in a plastic.
Mm.
For them it's good, but I'm saying for the person, they might not like it. I've heard people say, I don't like, I'm paying this all this money, and I'm like, they're giving me this like we're in McDonald's or something, whatever.
Mm. It's definitely different, and everyone definitely has their own preference for that, and it's definitely another topic and other people that
Yeah,
I'm interested
I just
in
remember that.
talking to. No, I'm definitely interested in having a conversation with other people as well to see where the trend is going. Just just to get their insight as well. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have in case you wanna, I have a friend of mine, my colleague. I mean, I will have to talk to her because
Sure.
she tends to go to more restaurants than I do. Like she's more of a of a dinner person. She goes, like I go more like happy hour, going out, dancing, music, and all that. But she, and I have more appetizers. She's really a person that eats in different restaurants everywhere, Brooklyn, Long Island, whatever, Jersey. So maybe if you would like to interview her about
No,
this.
definitely. We'll definitely have a conversation, see
I,
where it goes,
yeah.
and go from there because it's always interesting to get uh different perspectives as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the interest of making sure, I definitely want to get that down. And first
Yeah.
and foremost, I really want to thank you for taking your time and the opportunity to come up
No, you're welcome. I
with
just
me
was
and
kind
have
of
this conversation.
worried that I wasn't able to log in because I had such a horrible time last week.
No, I completely understand,
Because
but
I'm not too, I need my IT technologist here.
no, I definitely want to thank you so much for taking your time to have this conversation with me.
No, thank you for considering me.
No, and I look forward to, what having another conversation again when this whole fiasco ends, so to speak, and then seeing where we go from there from the other side. So,
So where do I see this
oh,
infamous
I'm gonna
recording?
send you the link as soon as this is over.
Oh
You'll get the link.
my
All
God.
right. So I'm
Thank you.
gonna I'm gonna stop recording and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
And then yeah. So thank you everyone. This is my good friend Paula Lisa, and then we'll go from there. Talk to you guys next time.
Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.